Whoa, why am I so off screen like this? Holy crap. Whoop! Oh! Hey y'all! Hello all! How's it going? I have no idea why I was so down on the floor. Hey there, Buddy Myers. How's it going? Good to see ya. And hello to anybody else who may be watching but is lurking and not chatting. That is okay. You are just as valid a viewer. Hello, one and all, and welcome to my 4,000 subscribers special stream. This is surreal, you know. I never thought that I would be in a position where I'd have like 4,000 individual people interested in watching my shit. So, like, seriously, having all of y'all here right now, well, not all of you. It'd be fucking crazy if I had like a 4,000 viewers stream right now, but it's crazy. I'm so glad that I've got some people here in chat celebrating it up with me as well. So, hey, you enjoy my kiss video? That's great to hear. That's great to hear. How's it going, Alex from Dallas? Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Glad you are all here today. And on this occasion, on this 4,000 subscriber occasion, I decided it would be a good opportunity to field some questions from you guys and, have a bit more audience participation, I do have it as like an option on my Patreon, like what have you. It's like it's a bonus feature for the $6 Patreon subs. Those who are willing to pay a bit more money. If I when I it's not often, but sometimes I will on there solicit like questions and answers. Like I think recently for the charity stream that I recently did for the Internet Archive, I wanted to have a question and answer portion there originally, so I put that question and answer thing out there like around February or so. Collected like one response from that, and I've been holding on to that since because that didn't really fit into the charity stream. Is Eric Carr your favorite Kiss member? I mean, he's definitely the one with the least bullshit surrounding him, John Doe Band, how's it going? Twisted Transistor, glad to see ya. First time making it to a live stream. Well, welcome. I'm glad to see you here. It's a perk for $6 patron subscribers. They get to participate in like Q&As I'll sometimes solicit on there. I think I put the first example of that like a few months ago for the charity stream, and now we finally got an opportunity to act upon questions and answers. So today I thought it would be nice to dip my toes into seeing what sort of things you guys are wondering about me, about my workflow, and what have you. Yo, first time, how's it going, Chris A? I'm not really a Vinnie Vincent fan, but I respect what he did for Gene and Paul. Would you agree? I will say that Vinnie Vincent's a damn good songwriter, right? I don't think Creatures of the Night or Lick It Up or even Revenge would be half the albums they are without the songs that he contributed to them. Like he wrote fucking Unholy. He helped write I Love It Loud, I Still Love You, Killer. So like dude's got a heavy footprint in Kiss history, for as good as a guy as he is or not, I don't know. But I guess we can get right into the first question of the day. Just to clarify, I see y'all's questions in chats, and I'll definitely answer them in due course. But I want to give some opportunities right now for the questions that I've received on on Patreon first. Then I'll move to YouTube, then to I guess Twitter and Blue Sky. just rewatched the Fall of Kiss today. Made me let me say. Made work suck way less. Thanks, Resi. You're welcome, the Need Abides. I'm glad to help people through their work shifts, just like just like deep dives and video essays help me through mine. So, anyways, without further ado, first questions. Just one before I die wants to know. Well, he says, "Hey Resi, here's a few questions for you. 1. Does it bother you that some people only want more Kiss content?" And, well, this is kind of a mixed bag of a question because, on the one hand, I do get why y'all are subscribed to me, right? I mean, I literally did have the, like, 10,000 subscriber patron or the 2,000 patron goal set up. I've had that going for my past few videos. I do want to see it happen, you know, as much as you guys do, you know. I want to make more Kiss content myself, but the thing is, I am a man of my word, right? You know, I don't want to, I mean, I want to make what I want to make, and I want to give you guys what you guys want. But all the same, I can't give everything away, right? Like, once I get done all the Kiss content I want to do, then what do you guys want then? Like, I don't know, like, how to say. While I do appreciate Kiss, and Kiss have been an important band in my life, I do not think that I am a Kiss channel in any means, by any means. You know, I think that whatchamacallit, I really did enjoy you know, making the Kiss series for you know, for the year or so that I spent on it. I thought I had a really good time doing that, and I definitely would have a good time doing it again. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling here. The thing is, there are so many bands, so many other artists, so many other stories that I want to tell that to lock myself down as just a channel that focuses on Kiss content, I feel like that would be really limiting. I mean, not just to me, but to you guys as well. I mean, I feel like I love the feeling that comes with, you know, watching a video essay about an artist maybe that I'm not so familiar with, and then taking in like a bunch of historical information that helps me to appreciate them when I might not have before. I don't know. I feel like that's a really neat experience, and I wanna do more of that stuff for y'all too. Fleetwood Mac have so much story to tell. Oh my god, like I'd love to do a Fleetwood Mac video. That's sort of like drama like that. I'd love to dig more into. Like I said in the Boston video, I want to do more stuff surrounding like the crazy rock stories of the 70s, 80s, probably like the 60s, 90s too, or 2000s and beyond. I don't know. I'd love to cast as broad a net as I possibly can, while still understanding that, you know, the bulk of my subscribers found me through my Kiss content. So, you know, I definitely want to make more, you know, classic rock content. I definitely want to make more Kiss content even, but all in its due course, you know. I will say, patience is a virtue. What are my favorite King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard videos? That is a really good question. I think, like, studio-wise, gosh, we should have put better thought into this, but, you know, I really do love, like, the ones in the early days where they were, like, with, like, the people vultures, where they were all dressed in, like, the robes, and, they had, like, the giant vulture animatronic and the guy in the guys in the tokusatsu outfits. That was really fun. What else? I really love, you know, like, Lord of Lightning, Balrog, you know, a bunch of... And oh my god, the videos that they made with fucking what's his face, the guy who directed Chunky Shrapnel. Those are all really fun videos. Live wise, that's a good question. I don't know. if I'm being honest, I when I watch King Gizzard, it's usually when I listen to King Gizzard, it's usually I'm listening to them. I'm not like watching a live video. Though you know what, I will say, if you guys are wanting a great example of King Gizzard's live ability and want like a beautiful fucking video to watch, their performance at the Palp Festival in 2023, they performed like against this gigantic mountainscape backdrop in the middle of the Alps, and it's really quite a stunning set to behold. I really do enjoy that concert quite a bit. What's my musical guilty pleasure? See, that's a good question. I try to be as open-minded as I possibly can to all genres of music, right? I love to be, I love to be absorbing, various, because I'm a musician myself, right? I feel like to only limit myself to listen to like rock music would be, would be a detriment to my development. So, I'm constantly putting out feelers and like, funk, jazz, R&B, soul, all these various different genres that, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm 100% an expert on it, but it's good to have, it's good to have some sort of feelers out. I don't know, if there was any guilty pleasure music I had, I mean, it feels stereotypical to say country, right? When country's in the middle of this big-ass revival that, like, channels like, I believe, Spectrum Pulse, I think, like, Todd in the Shadows, they've commented on them. There's, country is seeing a big moment in the mainstream, and I'm no wiser to country than I have been before. Oh man. At the risk of at the risk of whatchamacallit, pissing off like people who were very into like those sort of scene artists and scene musicians back in like the mid 2000s, I think pop punk would be my sort of guilty pleasure. Bands like fucking Good Charlotte and Yellow Card, even getting into like early Paramore and like some My Chemical Romance, like all that's there's a bunch of good stuff in there, right? But it's also a lot of very raw, like personal emotions, sometimes not really coming off the best in execution, sometimes can be very juvenile, and I guess there is an audience for that, but I I don't know, I've not been as gung-ho for the whole wave of like pop punk revivalism in the mainstream recently as other people, perhaps my generation, could have been. I don't know. Shout out to Orville Peck as far as country goes. Really can't go wrong with alt country. You have a good playlist if you want something to check out. Yeah, that's a good recommendation. I'll get that down real quick. Got a fucking Subway receipt here that I got the other day. I gorged out on takeout for 420 this year. Bunch of catnip, had a bunch of NBA streams open. It was a great 420. Oh my god, I literally just wrote down 420 on the receipt. I'm dumb. Let me write down Orville Peck. Yeah, I've heard good things about alt country too. Like, I think, I don't know. I feel like I would show my ass if I commented any further. Like, I've heard things about, like, going even further beyond, like, southern rock, like, sort of tying that into country. I like artists that do that sort of thing. But anyways, I think that's it for the Patreon questions. can switch over then. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Oh, sorry. Let's see here. Let's bring up you. Because I know I already sort of obliquely answered it, with all that I said about, if whether or not it pisses me off that people only expect Kiss from me. But, all I will say for now, at the end of the Boston video, obviously I teased that I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff related to glam metal. I don't know if it's going to be like 2 videos or 3 videos. It's definitely going to be a long-ass series. Oh my god, I did like so much scouring around Wikipedia and other sources to put together this like master list of like glam metal albums and shit that I've been referencing and like color coding and all that stuff. So like rest assured I am preparing for that, and it's going to be quite the hefty project. And in that project there's going to be quite a bit of Kiss. I think actually what was it? Producer glam metal. Okay. I tried to bring up my spreadsheet, but like Gene Simmons, I found out his name is on the production credits for at least 10 different glam metal albums in the 80s. So whether I want to avoid Kiss or not, I really can't. Kiss are just as integral to the story of glam metal in the 80s as, any of the actual contemporary artists in the glam metal scene, like Rat, like Motley Crue. Oh my god, there's so much underrated music in that movement, so much so much to talk about. But that is to say, I will be talking more about Kiss in the glam metal series. So if you're really craving if you're really craving another like sort of Kiss-ish series from me soon, stay tuned to the rise and fall of or however I'm gonna terminology the series. Look forward to those glam metal videos because there's gonna be a lot of Kiss in those. Also, I should also shout out, because they're pretty good friends of the channel, the Algorithms podcast on Spotify. I believe you can find it on Spotify. I don't know if it's on Apple Music, but I showed up with them earlier this year to do like a ranking of like Kiss's discography. We also talked a bunch of things like concert memories, underrated things and their like live aspects and what have you. It was a very entertaining conversation, and I definitely recommend checking them out on Spotify or Apple if you want to hear me ramble more about Kiss. That's again the Algorithms podcast on Spotify. Don't know where else, but definitely Spotify. Anyways, let's move on to the plastic one asked me, are you planning on doing any more tier lists for other artists you enjoy? So yeah, I would love to do more sort of like tier ranking streams. Back before I did all of these deep dives into, history, these edited deep dives, these scripted deep dives, I used to do like, the Resi Reviews, discography ranking streams, and I'd love to return to that at some point. The difficult thing with doing that is, just balancing research for that, prep for that, on top of like everything else that I'm doing with the deep dives, because, okay, so right now, in addition to prepping for another thing that the algorithms are recording, I've also been doing the prep work and actually just before this stream, I was gathering resources and doing a bit of recording for the Barry Gaudreau and Brad Delp solo album collaboration video for my Patreon. So I've been preparing for that, on top of that, on top of starting to listen to like a bunch of glam metal, and it's just like I'm listening to a lot of music, and it's great. I love being able to do something that, really draws upon my love for listening to a lot of shit. But at the same time, it's I've got to make, certain sacrifices for prioritizing at some point, and while I would love to do more discography ranking streams, I don't know when the next one will be. For the Internet Archive charity stream, I did set it as a goal to remake one of my older ones, and I believe the King Crimson stream won in the poll that I put up for my community tab. So I will definitely be doing a King Crimson tier ranking stream sometime later this year. You guys might have heard recently, actually, there's a new King Crimson band out. I think what is it? It's not exactly King Crimson, but it's a King Crimson sanctioned act. Like Fripp sanctioned it himself. It's Adrian Belew with Adrian Belew and Tony Levin. They got fucking Danny Carey and Steve Vai together, and they're going around as Beat, playing all this 80s King Crimson. I really want to go see them when they come through the city. Seriously, oh, a second, sorry. I will definitely answer that question in a bit. Thank you, Alex. Only dysfunctional band history I could see following on from the Kiss coverage would be Black Sabbath 83 to 95, covering the post-Ozzy, post-Dio. Oh my God, that would definitely be that'd be a crazy journey to go on. I remember seeing, actually, I think weren't they doing like a remaster of like the Tony Martin albums recently, like the Black Sabbath camp? It's good that era is finally getting some appreciation. Goldmine of questionable decision making, for sure. Yeah, cover the Tony Martin era. Oh my God, it would be fun for sure. But I mustn't get backtracked, or not backtracked, sidetracked. 1 second. Yeah, that would be really fun. I don't really listen to that much Sabbath outside of the Ozzy and Dio eras. Not even like Born Again. Like I think maybe I've heard like Trashed like once, but I haven't really given my respects to Gillan Sabbath. I haven't really listened to like Tony Martin or Seven Star or any of that stuff. So it'd be nice to look back on that stuff. But yes, I would definitely love to do like band-wide discography ranking streams someday, and or not someday, I've already done them. I'd love to do them again real soon, and hopefully later in the fall, maybe around the time I get to see Beat. Hopefully that will be the perfect time to do a King Crimson discography ranking. Moving on to the next question. Let's go to Twitter now, or shitter, I guess you could call it. There we go. From Snivine444, the V-Burb. She's if y'all like cute doodles and animations, definitely follow this. Definitely follow her. Follow Snivine. She's good people. Do I have any pets? And am I a cat person? Well, yes, I'm a cat person, but I do generally love all sorts of fluffy animals and fluffy critters. I used to own like 3 cats as a kid. I had a calico. Well, what was it? Yeah. I had a calico who was like the mommy cat. Then there was this orange cat who was named Sunny, and a gray cat named Cloudy. Very, very adorable kittens, and Oh my god, I'm happy that I had like an orange cat growing up because oh my god, I was like obsessed. I was obsessed with orange cats. It's like a toddler growing into a young kid, like. And I suppose like that obsession's carried on to now, but that is to say, my love for cats, my love for orange cats specifically goes back quite a long time, and I do remember those cats quite fondly. My big regret is that I really wasn't that responsible a pet owner. At the time I sort of, I was a kid. I sort of shunted most of the responsibility of caring for cats onto my mom, and she was also overworked, so she also kind of struggled sometimes to care for them, and it was like, at a certain point, I just sort of felt bad that maybe we weren't doing the best we could as, pet owners for the cats, and I'm just like, I'm at the point now where I'm living on my own as, my own independent adult. And, I'm managing my own finances, I've got my own job, I pay my own bills, and I realized that I would love another cat or another fuzzy creature in my life to like pet and cuddle and and have its companion, but at the same time, just like the expense, the responsibility, the weight of caring for another living being, I don't know if it's I don't know if I can handle that right now. I think I'm good just being me, just living my own life, and doing what I want to do, living my life the way I want it. Would love a pet at some point, but I just don't know if now is the right time, God. I'll tell you though, best part about living in New York City. You never you never go a block or two without seeing like somebody walking their damn pets, like whether it's like cats or like neighbor cats like walking around the street and like ducking under cars or whatever, or like people walking their dogs. I see like a bunch of people putting dogs in harnesses on leashes, and like you got big woofers, you got small woofers, a very, very wide variety of dog life in New York City. Trying to think of some more questions is hard? Well, no problem, Chris A. I appreciate you loading them up in chat. It does help for when I go when I go back later. When I go back later after everything from social media's run dry. But moving on to let's pull up Mr. Cake Dragon. What content would you want to try if VTubing was off the table? Honestly, if I weren't a VTuber, well, I mean, the big thing is the big reason why I'm behind this persona, behind this avatar. I do try to have some sort of element of privacy between what I do here and what I do in the rest of my life. The internet's this big, scary sort of parasocial game, and I appreciate y'all for sticking around and liking me for what you see of me and like how I come across and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't know any of you guys, and nor do you know like me in and out. So I don't know. It's good to have that sort of barrier between like my real life sort of persona and anything else that I do. So if I weren't this VTuber, if I didn't have this avatar, I still would like to do stuff like this, right? I would love to make like video essays. I'd love to make like documentary type content, but I don't know if like I don't know if I could present it in a way that's I mean, I know doxing is the hot word of the hour recently and what have you, but like, I would like to have some sort of feeling of control. So maybe if that would be like a voice, like a faceless sort of documentarian, maybe that would be something I could do. But other than that, like, I don't know. I feel like my boat's kind of passed as far as like content that I would like to do if I weren't like a VTuber. Like, Let's Plays used to be like such a hot button, like such a hot button thing in like the YouTube space, like not even like a decade ago. And now it's like you either have to like you have to stream alongside it and do all this other cross promotion, or just like forget it, man. It's yeah, I don't know. I will like maybe someday I'll be a bit more comfortable putting myself out there on the internet, like so willy-nilly. But like, I see all the time these trends on like VTuber Twitter going around, like VTuber versus IRL. I appreciate the people who, are willing to put their face out there so openly. Like, definitely it helps to break the stigma that to be a VTuber is to only be, the avatar that you are, when it should be like, yes, the avatar is important, but like definitely there's the person behind the avatar that matters just as much. And like for some people that carries off into showing off themselves as people. And I understand where that impulse comes from. I would prefer to be comfortable in my own environments, and that means being the orange cat boy. Let's see. We can move on now. We've only got like a few more questions left from social media, and then I'll dive into the chat's questions. Let's see. We can bring up now some Blue Sky questions. Out of the bands in the classic rock canon, say from 1970 to 1990, who do you think had the best modern-day releases? See, that's a hard call. Would you count David Bowie? I mean, I know you said bands, but Bowie's had bands. He's been mostly his own solo artist though. So like, I feel like it would be cheating to say David Bowie, but at the same time, it's not inaccurate. I mean, like, what? Fucking, how to say? Everything that Bowie did, like, even beyond, I mean, we don't talk about his 80s period, but, like, the stuff he was doing in the 90s, like, Outside and Earthling, that shit slaps. The fucking, Reality and Heathen, they've got there's plenty of good songs off those albums. Like The Next Day, Black Star, David Bowie had a very solid latter-day discography, because I don't think he ever quite stopped experimenting, I think it's like pushing ahead of the dame, as the line goes in Queen Bitch. Oh yeah, speaking of, shout out, bowiesongs.wordpress.com is very big inspiration to what I do. I forget, I think his name is Chris O'Leary. He wrote all of this David Bowie analysis between like 2009 and like, I don't know if it was like 2020 or 2019, but like he did all of this writing on Bowie that really opened my mind to the intersections of like history, of other aspects of culture and music, and I just cannot talk up that WordPress blog enough. So bowiesongs.wordpress.com or wordpress.bowiesongs. Yeah, just look up Bowie songs on Google. Odds are you're gonna find that blog. Little cat guy, it's been a while. Hey, Eisen, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Let me see. But what else to say? I guess Rush is also a pretty damn good band, as far as, like, classic albums, whatchamacallit? Not classic albums, I mean, like, albums they made past their prime, because, like, I know, like, the production of, like, whatchamacallit, Vapor Trails gets a lot of shit, but there's some good songs off of that, as well as, Snakes and Ladders, even some bangers off of Clockwork Angels. Like, it's really disappointing that, you know, Rush sort of ended the way they did. I mean, I guess it kind of went out on top, right? Celebrating, like, 40 years in the business, and I do respect that quite a bit, but it feels like they had so much more to give still before, you know, Neil Peart unfortunately came down with cancer. So, yeah, I love some latter-day Rush. Hey, Eisen, how's it going? Oh, sorry, I already said hi to you there. I was just sort of vibing off of what you said there. How am I doing? I'm doing just fine. It's nice getting to sort of sit back and shoot off of what you guys are saying, what you all want to know about me. It's nice to answer some questions. I don't know if you would definitely. I don't think you would call them frequently asked questions, except for maybe the Kiss ones. But another really good band that's still putting out some really damn good rock music even today, Judas Priest. Like, you know, in preparation for a thing, I've been listening to a lot of Priest, and like they very, very, very fucking solid output today. Like their past two albums, Firepower and Invincible Shield, they're goddamn solid. Definitely a solid addition to an already strong heavy metal legacy. Thank you so much, Eisen. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that you're among them. What other good? What are some other really good bands with classic bands with good modern releases? Not really thinking of any that come to my head, but I mean, obviously there's quite a bit more. Christopher DeRose, just watched the Boston Doc. Great work as always. You've been missed, Catboy. Thank you. I'm glad you really enjoyed that documentary. Although, to be fair, I haven't really been gone that long. I mean, unless you haven't seen the the King Gizzard videos, which I don't fault you for. I know King Gizzard's a very niche band. Casey JC, how's it going? I nominate Depeche Mode for a band with great modern releases. You know, I've heard, you know, decent things about modern Depeche Mode. I'll have to write that down for later. I've also heard, like, decent things about, like, modern Cure, but, you know, I could be entirely off base there. You know, I only know about, like, I barely know about The Cure, and even then, I mostly know about them through what I've gathered from my mom. She used to be, like, I guess she still is, but she was super big into The Cure back in the day. What else? I don't know. I wish more examples like easily came to mind, but the unfortunate matter is, like, so many classic rock bands nowadays that are, you know, on the touring circuit, they just get by coasting, and that's all well and good, you know. They just sort of release a Paint by Numbers album and go out and play, like, Keep on Loving You or Don't Stop Believin', and I respect the grind, especially that old in their age. I don't know though. I I definitely feel confident saying that Bowie is my favorite my favorite classic rock artist in like the modern day, like with the music he's released. What else? I don't know. We can move on, I guess, from this question. This is our final social media question, by the way. So I will be turning to the YouTube chat questions soon. If y'all want to ask any more questions, go right ahead. I've got quite a few here, and I definitely I'm thinking I'll be here at least till like 7:30. So get those questions in. Okay. So here we've got Onyx at Anua Rider, the monster, asking me, who is my all-time favorite drummer? I would say, I mean, it's a hard question, right? Because I'm always coming into contact with music with these cool drummers and stuff. So it's it's always a sort of shifting target, but I think overall, in terms of the drummer that's inspired my life path the most, it would have to be Mitch Mitchell of the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And I know that like John Bonham is the big popular example of like the Buddy Rich inspired, like very heavily jazzed technical side to the playing, but like he's able to deliver a hard rock and roll punch where it matters. I know people like to ascribe him as the big like jazz influenced rock drummer, but Mitch Mitchell, oh my god, like some of the shit that he was playing back at the height of the Jimi Hendrix Experience, I can't even come close to playing, even after like I've been playing like 14 years about at this point. It's a very, he had a very, very well-trained wrist, or wrists, I should say, well-trained pair of wrists. He played matchstick grip, so, more vindication for all the people that flex on all of us noobs who play, yeah, he played, all of us noobs who play, standard grip or whatever. Wait, hold on. Am I getting my drummer terminology right? Matchstick grip. Percussion grip. I am an idiot. Oh my god. Okay. So, yeah, he had like traditional grip, right? Mitch Mitchell, which is sort of holding one stick, I want to say, in like your dominant hand as like sort of a pencilish thing, like while the other like holding it as you would naturally hold it, like a drumstick, like a stick. But like he was just fucking crazy. Mitch Mitchell, like, listen to If 6 Was 9. That is Voodoo Child, the 15-minute Voodoo Child, not just Voodoo Child Slight Return, though that is a damn good drum song. Any live video of Mitch Mitchell, like, or live Hendrix recording, he just goes fucking off. Like, it's hard to really recommend anything, because I know like the Hendrix estate is like always watching like YouTube like a hawk to see like where where people are uploading like unauthorized like footage of Jimmy. But like I definitely love Mitch Mitchell's drumming. Jimmy Chamberlin is also a really good fucking drummer. Like of the Smashing Pumpkins, he's a monster on the drums. I also love Michael Cabs from King Gizzard. What's his face? Les Binks from Judas Priest. Scott Travis, he might very well be like probably probably objectively, he's the best Judas Priest drummer that they've ever had, just because he's such a versatile drummer. But my personal favorite Judas Priest drummer is Les Binks, because he just had the fucking sauce, man. Like, even back in the late 80s when people were still figuring out, like, really how to add, like, double bass into metal music, like, he had that sauce alongside, like, maybe Filthy Animal from Motorhead and, like, Ian Pace in Deep Purple. He was one of those pioneers, and he just killed it back in the day. It's such a shame that they replaced him with fucking Dave Hollins, like, because even though I know 80s Priest wanted to streamline their sound, they shaved a bit too much off, if you ask me. Rezi, you are the best. Thank you, Dinosaur Tornado. Woo, Kevs, yeah, woo! As far as drummers go, for me, it's Eric fucking Carr. Oh my god, yeah, Eric was a monster. It's such a shame that Kiss really underutilized him. Because, like, after Creatures of the Night, after Lick It Up, they'll throw him his token, like, double bass song on, like, the album, and that's all well and good, but, like, he really didn't have as much of an opportunity to cut loose as he probably could have. And, like, especially as a songwriter, too, like, there's so much untapped potential there. Hey, Peter, how's it going? Be melling. I just popped a question in your community tab. Let me check it out. Oh, Ginger Baker, too. Yeah, he's a really good fucking drummer. I'll admit, Cream's kind of my weak spot. I haven't really listened to, like, that much Cream beyond, like, what everybody knows. Let's see. What are my thoughts on Jan Wenner? Melling wants to know. What is he? Oh, he's a founder of Rolling Stone. Didn't he get, like... Wasn't there a bunch of controversy there recently where, Oh, yeah, it was like, he said that black and female artists weren't his... I don't know, I admit, I am not as, as far as that stuff with Jan Wenner and Rolling Stone, I am not as up-to-date and knowledgeable of that as I probably could be. At the same time, it does very much smack me as a sort of, old guard of music, like being very, obstinate and not as, not as respectful to the new guard incoming, Yeah, he got kicked out of leading the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that too. Yeah, it's such a shame you've got, like, people like him, like, staffing institutions like the Rock Hall, because it instills such an elitism that, to this day, we've got all sorts of confusing choices being made in terms of inductees. Like, here's the thing. I'll clarify. I don't necessarily have a problem with non-rock artists getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think rock and roll is a big enough of an umbrella nowadays that every sort of artist has flirted with it at least once in some way, or left some sort of impression on the genre, even if they weren't directly a rock artist themselves. At the same time, it's just like, there's so many confusing inclusions that they haven't yet inducted. Like, fucking, I don't think, like, Humble Pie's in there yet. I don't think Iron Maiden's in there yet. What are some other really big... Boston's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even though, by all fucking accounts, they were pretty much, like... They were the bands that, like, really shifted the ball on the whole radio rock sort of formula. It's just... They make so many baffling decisions, the Rock Hall, committee. But what was the recent list? Because I believe I saw Roll Hall of Fame 2024. I think Todd in the Shadows posted something about it recently, and I saw their nominees. Their inductees, rather. The performer category, this year's inductees are Mary J. Blige, Cher, Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Kool and the Gang, Ozzy Osbourne, and A Tribe Called Quest. A very, very motley crew of artists there, if ever there was one. But you know, I do understand their significance at the very least. Again, I'm confused as to why Peter Frampton himself got in before, like, Humble Pie did, but, you know, the Rock Hall will be the Rock Hall, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, the sooner that, it kind of sounds insensitive to say, people like Jan Wenner should just, like, roll over or keel over and, make room for the next generation. But, like, at this point, if rock and roll is to become, like, something more than, like, this repeatedly regressive, constantly calling back to the past thing that people try to assert it as, Greta Van Fleet, I don't know. I feel like that's really limiting the potential of the future of its growth. I feel like Peter performing last year made someone on the committee realize he's not in. Oh yeah, now that's true. He's definitely curried some favor with at least artists in the hall in the past. Like, didn't he play on like fucking All Things Must Pass by George Harrison? So, I mean, he's been around. He's definitely an important figure in, like, the music industry. As I argued under Todd in the Shadows post, like, he was the one who popularized the talk box on the guitar. I mean, surely that should count for something, right? Anyways, let's look now, I guess, at our questions in chat and see if we can answer some of these. Okay. Would I ever do a video on video game music? Chris A is asking this. Would I ever do a video on video game music? Not just music from existing bands and featuring in games, but music specifically made for games. I think, I am definitely interested in that sort of thing. I love, like, the Mick Gordon Doom OSTs. That's a fucking heater of an OST. Yeah, I love video game music. Like, fucking, even dating back to my childhood, like, I remember getting so hype over, like, David Wise, Grant Kirkhope, like, rare video game soundtracks. So, like, yeah, I do love video game music. I don't know at the moment if I were to do, like, something like that, what angle I would take, because, like, there's plenty of really good channels out there, like, what was it? 8-Bit Theory. Is it 8-Bit Theory? 8-Bit Theory. Yeah, 8-Bit Music Theory, like, other channels to that effect. They've done, like, really good video game music analysis, and if I were to do that, I don't know. I would want it to be, from some sort of historical angle that I don't know if anyone else has really covered before. And that's kind of hard too, right? Because, like, we've already got, like, brilliant creators in the space, like the Gaming Historian doing stuff. The Gaming Historian's done, like, soundtrack history, right? Soundtrack. Or he's at least talked about that sort of stuff before, I don't know. I don't know. I would, at some point I'd love to cover some sort of video game score, but I would have to find, some way to tie it into what I usually do with, like, looking at the history of or history of music more broadly. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot to think about there. Like, because like, what? There's not just like all these CD quality music, but also 8-bit music, 16-bit music, like the 64-bit sound fonts. There's so much potential for a fucking video. My head is buzzing. Yo, congrats, Frizzy. Thank you, 21st Century Guy. Glad you could make it. Thank you so much. Oh my god, Peter, I just saw your message there. The damage that the Sgt. Pepper's movie did to Frampton's reputation is immense. I think I saw someone say on Twitter something to the effect that he was getting inducted because basically as like a Purple Heart for his service in the Sgt. Pepper's movie. God, what a fucking trip of a film that is. That would be fun to cover at some point. Look back here. The Need Abides asked me, what would it take to get you to check out my band? You can even roast me. And the thing is, you know, I appreciate the grind. I appreciate the hustle. You know, I'm in bands myself. I know how much I know how hard it is to like get your name out there as like an independent creator and like try to get a foothold in somewhere. You know, I would personally be happy to listen to people's like musical projects if they want to like send them to me or like post them on Twitter or tag me in them. I can't guarantee that I'll make a fucking video on them because I'm already backed up to hell and beyond. But like, you know, I don't necessarily how to say. I'm not against like I'm not against like viewers sharing what they've got going on in their lives with me. I just, you know, I can only I don't know. I can only have so many. I can only focus on so many things at once, and I don't know if necessarily. I don't know. Is that making sense? I don't want to accuse anyone of being a clout chaser. You know, I know, like, it's hard for, like, independent creatives to get a leg up in a space where, you know, algorithms are fighting against them, where people are, like, fighting to be seen against thousands and thousands of other artists like them. I get that, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to checking out like viewer projects or listener, you know, like records or what have you. Just like don't expect me to like really say anything about them or like, you know, include them in a video as like some sort of example, because I feel like, you know, it's at a certain point it's like you know, I'd love to help you out. I'd love to give you listens. I'd love to give you streams and all that. But I don't know, like, if I don't really know you on that level, it's kind of it's kind of awkward to promote someone beyond, like, at a certain point, giving them a cursory I don't know, like. Maybe there's a way I could better phrase this, but I don't want my channel to become like this, like how to say, a review by request sort of thing, you know? Oh. Cracking my back. Woo. Okay. Alex Raykosk asked me, curiously speaking, I've always been fascinated by the graphics of your mouth and eye movements. You may have touched up on this on other streams, but how'd you do all that? I like it. Love the cat look. I I use a I didn't create this avatar per se. Really, it's I use this program called Vroid Studio. I believe you can download it for free on Steam, and they've got like a they got like a template that you can like stick a bunch of like customizable hair pieces and you can like do all sorts of like crazy customization on like this 3D sort of anime model, far beyond what I've done on it. Even, you know, I this hair was hair that I created myself, but basically everything else is like textures that I don't know, like the hoodie, the undershirt. I think that those came from Vroid, but like there are these other things that I downloaded from like Booth PM. The animations are just the animations. Like after I created my model in Vroid Studios, then I was able to export it into this program called VC Face, which has been serving me very well. Like even since before I was making my edited content, like VC Face really interfaces nicely with OBS. So I've been able to I've been able to essentially match my lip movements, via my webcam to what my avatar is saying for a very long time. I'd love to at some point get to the point where I'm able to have more body tracking involved. Like I know, people there are people out there like Zentreya and a whole bunch of other like full body 3D VTubers. Like I think Onigiri's also done this in the past, but like being able to be like full body 3D, to have your arms moving, to have like to have like very subtle facial animations. I'd love to eventually get to that point, but I don't know. It's a very it's very hard. Very expensive, I should say. Very expensive. There is this one program, Virtual Face, that apparently is very, very cool for like VTubers, who have like iPhones. It allows them to basically put their Vroid head over their real body. I've considered, I downloaded Virtual Face to an iPad that I have, because I do have like that's like the one Apple device that I have, and I tried using it there, but it didn't really work for me. At some point, maybe I'd love to get like an iPhone, not even with a plan, but just to use its camera for Virtual Face, because I think that would be very fun to incorporate that into my videos. But, sort of carrying on from there, Oh, sorry, 21st Century Guy. I completely blew past your your question of how I am. I'm doing good. These questions are fun. I like talking the shit with you guys. I like answering what y'all are looking to find out. Let's see. Don't know if this question would apply to you. This is again Chris A. But what's your favorite classical track? I highly enjoy a lot of really old stuff, so I'd love to know if you do too. I actually play violin. Curious thing about that, I actually played violin as a kid myself. I never practiced as a kid, so I never really stuck with it, but I did play the violin as a kid, so I do have some sort of knowledge of that. Actually funny to note that I do quite like classical music. I remember studying it quite a bit when I was in Cat College, taking music theory, taking music history, quite familiar with a bunch of old composers from especially like the Romantic era. I love Romantic era musical composition. And I do have an appreciation for like modern and postmodern stuff too. I know that's very avant-garde and pushing, the boundaries of what you can consider listenable, but At the same time, it's got its place, and it does have some very solid bangers to it. As far as my favorite classical music, um, I would have to say the symphonies of Gustav Mahler. I Gustav Mahler is such a fucking fascinating figure in that, like, everything that he wrote, everything that he composed was thought through and imbued with this philosophy of transcendentalism, almost wanting to lift the veil of the normal life and, I guess, embrace the totality of nature, of love, of humanity. And it really comes through. It's just like all the music he composed is so grand, so intense, so emotional. I just can't like talk up. I can't talk up Mahler enough. Like his Fifth Symphony, his Eighth Symphony, his fucking Ninth, all fucking gorgeous. What else? Like, oh my god, I literally took like a semester long class while I was abroad about Mahler's Symphony Number 5 and like all the symbolism and all the themes imbued in that work, and it's crazy how much that you could pull from that. Man, what a goddamn genius. But yes, no, I really do love classical music. You guys might have noticed, actually, in my most recent Boston video, because, Tom Scholes was all about, growing up with romantic music, I actually incorporated some romantic compositions into the whole video as background music. I think I had, like, Beethoven's Eroica Symphony. I think I had this trombone quartet that he composed that was actually used for his death, that I used for the background music for the, I guess, when I was talking about Brad Delp's unfortunate passing. Then there was also what was it? The Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto Number 1 I used for the beginning of Part 4, and then at the end, in the conclusion, I used the final movement of Tchaikovsky's Passion Symphony. So if you wanted to know the needle drops for that video, there you have it. What else? Okay. Now a Chris A question. I'm an English VTuber. But I always have problems trying to think of things to make videos on. How do you do it? How do you self-motivate to be able to make your projects? All of them are really good. Well, thank you very much, first of all, Chris A. But secondly, it took me a bit, right? I came up in the whole sort of mold, having gotten into this whole scene back in 2021 of, being a VTuber means you have to stream, like, you have to, do all this social media cross-posting, you have to do all this constant collaboration and all this draining shit when, I'm just over here being like, I want to play my video games, I want to rank my music, I want to do what I want to do. But like for some time, I sort of, I don't know, I felt like I had to pressure myself to conform to like a streamer's schedule, even though I'm not much of a streamer by trade. I don't know if you guys could have noticed this, but I'm not exactly the most comfortable on a live stream. But that is to say, I don't know. I think finding what I'm good at, it really required me to just step back and think of what's led me to this moment in time. Because Even before I took up VTubing, I've been big into music. I've been big into history. I've always been big into, sort of telling the stories of lesser known moments in history. So I guess I kind of parlayed that from there. What I was already doing, I was already doing these drum covers. I was already doing whatchamacallit. I was doing drum covers. The aforementioned tier list rankings. I was just basically thinking of some way that I could take everything that I was doing before, but do it in a way that, if this makes sense, do it in a way that was my pace, I guess. Like my path, I know it is very much not like a commercially viable path. If you're asking me for like how to become the most commercially friendly version of yourself to get big real quick as a VTuber, I'm afraid I can't really help you there. But if you want to, I personally subscribe to the notion that, if you're gonna really be like a content creator that sticks around for the long term, you've got to, start small. You've got to build your own sort of following around you naturally. Because I think at the end of the day, that's the best way to have people come to you for you and not for anyone else. I don't know if does that make sense? Like, is that good advice? Please let me know if you got a nugget of wisdom from that ramble. What else? What do you feel about rock that adds in really different instruments? Violins, trumpets, I think it can be done really well. That was some good advice. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad you appreciated it. I definitely think it can be done really well where you've got like non-traditional rock instruments in a rock setting, like fucking Kansas, right? Like back in the 70s, I was listening to a bunch of Kansas, in preparation for my Boston video, and they do have quite a few great tracks from from Leftoverture and Dust in the Wind, or what's the album with Dust in the Wind on it? I forget. Dust in the Wind. Oh, it's Dust in the Wind, dude. Point of No Return. That's right. Like, Leftoverture and Point of No Return have some legitimately great compositions there, and part of that is to do with that blending of electric violin with the rest of the band. I can't say I'm the most knowledgeable of all sort of unorthodox, I guess, lineups out there. I will say I do really like how ELP had it back in the day, where they never really had like a guitar player. It was always just like Keith Emerson on his keyboards. It was Greg Lake on bass and vocals, and Carl Palmer tearing it up on the fucking skins. Like, I remember a long time ago, I saw Asia in person, right? And Carl Palmer took his drum solo. Dude was a fucking freak of nature, even years past his prime. Like, that dude can fucking drum, and it's going to be a fucking tragedy when he is the final one of the ELP trio to pass. Oh yeah. Your take on Yoshiki's version of Black Diamond. Yoshiki, I don't think I've listened to that. There's a lot of Japanese metal out there that I'm still not very familiar with. Though, actually, I will say to that point, in preparation for the glam metal videos that I'm going to eventually do, I have come across, a few Japanese glam metal bands that themselves I'll probably mention, and they actually worked with like Western producers, like Beau Hill himself, the hair metal producer, worked with I think it was like Shoya on like this glam metal album, like right at the peak of like glam metal's bubble, and it's just like so much how to say, there's so much history there that I'd love to uncover. And hopefully I'll be able to. Hopefully, language barrier permitting, I'll be able to get some good information there. Actually, so I completely skipped over P. Melling's question about that sort of. Have I ever run into a language barrier when doing research? Yes, actually. When I was back when I was doing the tier list stream for Maria Takeuchi, I had to do a bunch of fucking deep out translation of the Japanese Wikipedia pages for her albums. And I got some pretty good info from them, all things considered, but at the same time, it was like, it was really hard, and I wasn't really too sure, like, the accuracy of the information. I had to double check with some people in, like, a Discord server or whatever. Because, like, what was it? I think like the pronouns weren't translating properly was the thing. So like some paragraphs where it was talking about Maria, it translate out to like he did such and such, right? Because I think it might be a certain thing with like auto translate that like pronouns don't exactly come across too well through that. Yeah. Recall. Yeah, there. So. That is to say that, yeah, I mean, there is that language barrier. I would like to eventually do more research into, like, Japanese pop music and metal, and, like I said, I'm gonna have to for this hair metal video, so fingers crossed I'll be able to cross that bridge when I get to it. John Doe Band asked, another question on the technical side, why do you prefer releasing multi-hour videos instead of 30-40 minute chunks of the same content? I don't know, I think it's just, I feel better, like, releasing a wholly realized project as opposed to breaking something up and having to put it together in post, right? Because I see it often, where, creators will put up all these chunks of, like, a bigger whole and then do, like, the, ultimate compilation at the end where you can go and watch it. But I think, I don't know, it does something to a documentary when you hack it up into several small pieces to be consumed, like, episodically. And, like, how to say, not to say that, like, you can't do that and, like, still have the documentary be cohesive, but I just prefer to have it where, like, you go in, you sit down, and it's an actual documentary, right? Like, I don't feel any shame in going out into, like 2-hour analyses. I mean, that seems to be the trend in YouTube nowadays. Let's see. Jukebox Cowboy asked Roth or Hager. I think David Lee Roth, and I don't even think that's too controversial of a take. Honestly, I think he just fit the mood and the tone of Van Halen's music more, and certainly better than Sammy Hagar did. Like, not to dog on Sammy Hagar too much. He does have his moments. He does. His voice is good for, particular textures and timbres. I just don't know if he was the, I don't know if he was the guy to, completely he was certainly the guy to ferry all of Eddie Van Halen's creative ideas to, the public conscience, but I don't know if, like, Van Halen as a whole really benefited the most from his inclusion. Certainly better than Gary Sharon, but I don't know. Sammy Hagar's definitely a hit or miss vocalist in my eyes. What else? I'm the kind of guy, Chris A. asked, who can't settle for normal. Some of my favorite artists are people who absolutely mangle their music in a way that still sounds good. What are my thoughts on unnatural music? I wish... Let's see. I don't know too much about outsider artists. I don't actively seek them out. I don't really derive pleasure from listening to avant-garde music that much. But, obviously there are bands and artists out there, I guess, like the Shags or what have you, that make very intentionally fucked up music. I don't know. My viewpoint there is, I respect it, even if I don't entirely 100% get it. Like, I just remember this, it brings me back to this one time in college where, I think I expressed to a friend of mine that, I just didn't get, 534 or 434, that John Cage piece where it's all silence. Obviously I get it, right? And, he tried to explain it to me, being that I already get it, it's the power of the sound around you or what have you, but it's just yeah, I get that. I understand. It's cool. It doesn't mean I seek to listen to 434 all the time, But, I definitely respect people who make complex music like that. It's music that should be made, even if you don't necessarily respect it. Else? Okay, Nina Moon was wanting to know, what are my thoughts on Boston's corporate America and love life and hope? Now, I kind of got into this a bit in the Boston video, but I guess to sort of elaborate on it, they're not inherently bad. I think the guitar tones are all right. Scholes definitely still has it in him when it comes to producing really cool guitar noises and shit. But, like I said, the drums are ass. The vocals are, all over the place. It's like you've got one singer, one track, one the other, one another. Especially with the last two albums, it's just like this revolving cast of singers from track to track, and it doesn't really allow you to land in a stable sort of headspace compared to the previous Boston albums, in my opinion, The political commentary wise, I really wish Scholes came out a lot stronger against the whole sort of corporate, anti-peace, anti-love. I wish he came out harder against those forces in corporate America, in Love, Life, and Hope. Because I know, he meant those albums as, albums about love, albums about survival, and all that stuff. And I respect it, but it's just... At a time where, more and more forces are, making themselves known and in how they're just, fucking up future generations, it feels like he treats them with kid gloves, almost, unlike Corporate America, or Give It Up, or whatever those other songs are on Corporate America that are sort of more like vague allusions than direct condemnations, It's a very weak sort of political commentary in my eyes. There's definitely novelties on Love, Life, and Hope and in Corporate America that definitely encourage a listen here or there. I think it's cool, all the work that Kimberly Dama does on those albums. She's a good bassist, but she's also a really good fucking singer. I think, what was it, the one song she does on Corporate America? Was it Within You or Without You? Forget. America. It's With You. That's the song. Yeah, that's really lovely stuff. honestly, I don't know. I don't know why it took Shoals so long to, at least for Love, Life, and Hope, to record all of that. I mean, I guess, just him living off of his own sort of peace of mind philosophy and all that. And no judgment. I mean, I literally take so long to make my own shit, so I can't really judge him there. But at the same time, it was like he spent all this time just for subpar rhythm section sound. It's disappointing, really. Let's see, more comments here. Good Japanese band is Baby Metal. They're so silly. And oh yeah, Azo did an album with Gene Simmons producing. Loudness did 4 albums with Max Norman. Yeah, for sure. It's cool. I've got I'll show it off at some point, but I created for myself this gigantic master list of like glam metal albums from the late 70s into the mid 90s or so, and like there's so I was surprised at how many fingerprints Gene Simmons had on like 1980s glam rock. What else? What you got a dip? Okay, see you, 21st century guy. Kinda miss you there. I love John Cage, number 1, 433 Street. I listen to all day, every day. What kind of games do I like? Currently obsessed with the Yakuza series. I am very much a big roguelike fan. I'm getting to that age now where I can't really sit down and commit myself to gigantic, open world, multiple side quests, gigantic, all this like AAA cuts. I can't commit myself to that sort of grind anymore, I feel like. So having a roguelike where, every run into like a dungeon, into different like boss is different. It's like it really freshens up the gaming experience. Because like when I come home from a long day of work, I love to sit down and just like dive into an adventure, not necessarily like in medias res, but like having I don't know, it's cathartic, to boot up Hades and play a few rounds, go through go ascend from like the underworld all the way up to the surface and get the right boon combinations and just utterly dominate. It gives you a feeling like no other when you get like a really good roguelike run. You get a really good combination of items. Like Binding of Isaac 2 especially is really good about that feeling. But other than that, I do have a really good... I have a big fondness for boomer shooters too. I was really super into like the modern Doom games. Haven't really picked them up in a while though. I love Dusk. That's a really fun game. I never completed Dusk actually. Like I think I got to like the second to last level, but I never completed it. So that's something I got to get to at some point. I love roguelikes, I love boomer shooters, and I like the occasional platformer here or there. I played through most of Super Mario Wonder. I think I beat the final boss for that game. But I really enjoyed my time there with Mario Wonder. And if more crazy platformers were like that, I think I'd have a lot more fun with platformers in general. Let's see. Find that part of King Gizzard's identity and sound is the fact that it makes genres and explore others. Even their most out there songs / albums hit hard, and that really feels special to me. Thoughts? I mean, I don't know if it's wholly like unique to King Gizzard that they are so experimental and so like shifty in sound from album to album. I definitely think it's commendable that they're able to bounce so much, but like it's happened in the past where, bands have tried, I guess, pastiches of other genres. Queen, were super huge into, experimenting, style to style on their albums. I think, especially with, fucking Night at the Opera, Day of the Races, they're, fucking variety albums back then. I do. Yes, I do think that, the fact that they're able to pull off so many different styles is fucking. It's stellar, but I think they're all really linked together by that nugget of jam that I sort of mentioned in my live history videos. I think, even from the earliest days, King Gizzard's been a very, I guess, anything goes, full steam ahead, I guess, making it up on the fly sort of band. And even when they got tighter, like in the mid 2010s, like there were still these elements where it felt like they wanted to go, where they wanted to push things a bit more certain nights than others, and what have you. It's like, yeah, you never know what you're gonna get album to album from them, but it also applies like show to show too. And I think that unpredictability to them, that ability to improv on the fly, like whether that's like their next direction as a band or like in a live concert, I think that's core to King Gizzard. What are my thoughts on This Is Spinal Tap and them as an actual band? I love that movie, This Is Spinal Tap. Fucking stellar. One of the best mockumentaries I've ever seen, frankly. There's also what is it? Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping, that I think is a very it's a very underrated gem. If you love This Is Spinal Tap, definitely check out Pop Star. It's got the guys from The Lonely Island. It's got a bunch of funny celebrity cameos. What you can't go wrong with it. There was also the album This Is Spinal Tap. I'm actually I'm probably gonna listen to that in preparation for the glam metal series, but it's been a while since I've listened to all the songs on that. It's a lot of fun. You could tell that the people behind the what was it, Christopher Guest, forget the other guys' names, but the people behind that whole Spinal Tap sketch, you could tell they were having such a fun time. Like, I don't know if they were like listening to other bands' music or reading like liner notes, lyrics, or whatever, and going like, "Oh, hey, we can totally make a fucking riff off of this." It's just such a fun film and creative project that I wish they were able to do more with it, but then again, I guess, you can't really, lightning can only really it's hard enough for lightning to strike twice, right? Let's see, do I like clowns? No. I do not like clowns. Not necessarily that I'm afraid of them or anything, though if you show me like a scary fucking like Halloween clown mask, I'll probably jump, but like, no, I don't really like clowns that much. Can I name an album that has a spaceship on the cover that isn't good? It's a damn good question. Fuck. I feel like I would be I would be courting a bunch of people here to throw hands with me if I were to say Escape by Journey, but that album's definitely overrated. I mean, if not because of like what how to say, if not because of those songs' inherent qualities, it's certainly because they've been beaten to death over time. Like fucking, I never want to hear "Don't Stop Believin'" ever again in all my life. That said, I will still give Journey this. Open Arms is a stellar power ballad, and I wish that I had written something like it. I'll be right back. I feel like we're getting to that point in the day where the light is starting to fade from my room and my webcam's not picking up my face so well. So, be right back. Alrighty. are here once more. Get what you're saying about gaming. As a mom and a breadwinner in the family, I only get an hour or two of gaming a day, and I need to catch up on all my YouTube videos in that time too. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's a lot, you know. Nowadays that we millennials, Zoomers, we got responsibilities. We're adults. It's a very scary thing to think of if you linger on it for too long. But you know, I'm managing. At least we're managing. We all we all take it one day at a time, right? Escape. Dang, you just put my theory to the test. Yeah, I mean, there are some pretty good. Well, actually, let me look that up, because I remember, you know, when I was doing the Boston retrospective, listening to some Journey, so definitely some songs from Escape that I liked. What's the one where fucking apologies if you hear that. Yeah, there's this one track where Steve Perry just fucking goes like wild with the vocals. I think it's like Mother Father or Lay It Down. Like, either of those tracks are good. And like I said, Open Arms is a pretty damn good ballad too. I don't know. I don't really like a lot of the other stuff. It's very filler AOR. Let's see. Thoughts on Hardline, the glam metal band that was so good it led to Crush 40 being formed. Yeah, what was it? I listened to a bit of Hardline the other day. Actually, when I was putting together that glam metal spreadsheet. It's decent stuff, you know. It's I definitely could see it being like, you know, like radio rock if grunge hadn't hit as hard as it did, like back in the early 90s. Like, they definitely could have seen some more success. It's really interesting, you know, when you look at just how involved glam metal artists were in like Sonic the Hedgehog's transition into 3D. Like, because even when glam metal was dying and decaying in the 90s, it found a way to sort of cement its legacy, almost. What better way to represent the fastest thing alive than some campy, corny, fun in the sun butt rock? Let's see. What else? It's arguably not horrible, but yeah, gray area there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I need to give more Journey a shot at some point. Like, I do really like a few of the songs that they had on, what was it, Raised on Radio? Like, some of the stuff on that album is really fucking good AOR. Like, Be Good to Yourself and I'll Be Alright Without You. I really enjoy those songs, but I don't know. I haven't really given Journey the fairest of shots in the past. Steve Perry's voice isn't the most pleasing on the ears. Have I read KK Downing's book? No, I have not. I haven't. I don't think I've really read any supplemental like books on Priest or anything like that, which is a shame, because I remember, like, I think ages ago, taking out like books from like some library about that, as if I were gonna like eventually try to do like this book on like how Priest were this pivotal metal band or something, but I don't know, that never came together. Would like to eventually get that idea out into the fucking somewhere though. Like, Priest were just definitely one of those very pivotal heavy metal acts. Let's see. What do you think of people who stop liking something when it becomes popular? I think that's lame. You know, I think you should just like what you like and, you know, fuck cringe. Cringe is dead, you know? Like, I don't care if, I don't care if I find, like, a pop song, like, particularly appealing to my ears or anything like that. You know, I don't care if, an opinion I take is, like, the same as a majority opinion, you know? I feel like I like what I like, and that is what it is. And, you know, if you go around, like, hating artists based on how popular they are or how exposed they are in the mainstream, I feel like that's just a very, it's just a very myopic way of listening to music, to me. Thoughts on the favorite glam metal band, Danger Danger? I haven't really listened to much Danger Danger, admittedly. I know that's like, it's not Ted Poley, it's, Ted Harnell, I think it is? Tony Harnell? Or was that TNT? I don't know. I get those two confused all the time. I haven't really listened to them so much, though I probably will in preparation for that video. I've read both of Rob Halford, both his and Rob Halford's book, and they're both fantastic. What I've read of KK's book is good. It's a real visceral description of his family issues. Interesting. Yeah, it feels... I feel like a lot of those early, like, British heavy metal bands had, like, some very, like, dark home lives growing up, right? Because, like, they were growing up in these industrial, like, ghost towns, essentially. Well, not ghost towns, but, like, industrial... decaying industrial centers, former industrial centers, like... Priest and Black Sabbath were from Birmingham, both. So, like, you had that going for them. You also had, like, fucking, like, Budgie out in Wales, like, bar hopping to get their sound. Like, it was a very, very working class movement originally, heavy metal. So I don't doubt that. Thoughts on Prince? I wish I could, I wish I had a better grasp on Prince. You know, there are quite a few, there are a few Prince songs I enjoy, but like, I don't know if you could, I'm not any authority on Prince. Like, there's so much Prince out there that I've yet to listen to that I can't really give that solid an opinion on him. I do really like that, what was it, Mike the Snare did a deep disc dog dive on him some time ago, and that was a really cool video. You know, maybe eventually, if I have the time, I'll plunge into his troves and troves of music, even the shit that his estate's yet to release. But it is not this day, I will tell you that much. All Things Must Pass, Plastic Ono Bands, or Ram? Hard call. Very hard call. Because on the one hand, you know, All Things Must Pass, very, you know, it was George Harrison's statement that, you know, this is me, I'm a fucking good songwriter on the level of Lennon McCartney, and this is why, and here are all my fucking kick-ass friends here to back me up. Here's Clapton, here's Dylan. It's a very, very, it's a maximalist album, and I really do love a lot of the songs off of it. Plastic Ono Band, John Lennon, it's the most viscerally emotional album that, like, a mainstream rock artist, I think, has ever put out. And it still tugs at my heartstrings from time to time. You know, I go back and listen to some tracks on it. It's a very haunting album. And Ram's just damn good. It's just like Paul McCartney's attempt at, like, being a fucking great songwriter, but at the same time trying to push himself ahead of what he'd already been known for in the Beatles. I don't know. Gonna go with Plastic Ono Band. I don't know. I just feel like that's the most real Beatles solo album that they'd ever put out. Whatchamacallit? Let's talk about Y&T. Oh yeah. Yeah, I have seen some, like, the Y&T albums, looking on the glam metal, on my preparation for the glam metal video. It's interesting that they started out not really, like, heavy metal so much, but as their own sort of rock thing. But, you know, they still formed in California, so it's funny how that sort of, you know, all paths lead to glam metal that way. Future virtual kiss. Would you go to a show? Nah. I never went to see Kiss when they were an actual band, nor will I go to see them now. I don't know. If they weren't a nostalgia act before, they definitely are now. Like, I don't think anybody who's not a super diehard Kiss fan who just won't get the same experience not going to see them live. Even then, like, even fucking then, you go to see a tribute act. Why would you pay Gene Simmons like $500 fucking dollars to sit in like the fucking rafters just to see like these virtual ugly 3D models? I don't get it, man. If there is a damn good like Kiss tribute act, maybe someday, like I would go to see like a live show like that. Like, there's definitely no shortage of them. I remember ages ago I used to play in like a friend's band and like we opened for his dad's Kiss tribute act once. Played all the way up in like some bumfuck town and only one person showed up to see us, but you know, quite a few people around for the Kiss experience. One of my thoughts on Bow Wow's AOR spin-off. Bow Wow, have not listened to them so much. I only know that they had Neil Murray as a bassist for a few years, which, you know, that's pretty cool. I like when Western musicians and producers work with the Japanese bands. That's really neat. Ever consider getting behind the camera to produce source material? I think I did touch upon this earlier. You know, there's this one program for iPhone called or Apple or whatever called Virtual Face, where like it basically takes like the 3D models that you can make in like Vroid or other programs, and it puts it takes the face of those models and surrounds your normal face. So like you can essentially take real videos of you in your avatar. I've considered like getting an iPhone to do stuff like that for my videos, because I think it would make that really expressive. But you know, I don't know. That's still probably a ways off. Am I doing a Rise and Fall of Metallica? Not at the moment. I don't have any plans to do anything with thrash metal. You know, I will probably bring them up like here and there during the glam metal series, you know, as a point of reference, and like. Obviously, they were very adversarial towards glam metal in the press, so I'll definitely cover them there if they're relevant, but I don't really have any plans to do a Metallica series right now. Let's see. Imagine if Hatsune Miku was in Kiss. Oh, jeez. You know, I wouldn't put it past Gene Simmons to skimp out on setting up a full glass hologram and set up a giant monitor on the stage instead. You know what? Does anyone else have any... Oh, okay. That's cool. I also asked because I'm curious if you are considering entering film festivals at some point. That would be fun. You know, I wonder if wonder if we're ever gonna get to a point where there's gonna be like some sort of VTuber content awards where I'm able to enter myself in. I mean, I know we've got like VTuber like awards. There was one that passed like this past year, but you know that was a more for like the streaming side of things, like you know people getting awarded for like best Minecraft stream, best variety streamer, all that sort of stuff. Like, there's not really a best video essay VTuber, you know. I hope we get more recognition in the future. Yeah, I remember, like, Iron Mouse won, like, Best VTuber at the Streamies, I think it was. And there was also, like, an individual, like, VTuber awards show separate from that, I believe. But, could be wrong. You personally go for All Things Must Pass? That's respectable. You know, I definitely love a lot of tracks off that album. What Is Life, Wah Wah, bangers for the ages. So, I guess we're caught up here on questions. Do y'all have anything else that you're wondering at the moment? This has been really fun. I'm glad that I've gotten to celebrate 4,000 subscribers with y'all like this. If we're just about done here, I think I'm gonna go off to get dinner and possibly tune into the the 76ers versus Knicks game tonight. You know, it's a very interesting situation I find myself in this year. I've started getting into basketball just as the fucking Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks meet in the playoffs. And here I am, you know, somebody who's lived in both places in his life, torn both ways. So I'm just rooting for whoever's playing. I'm just rooting for whoever's home team in each arena each night. So I don't feel too bad each way. Oh, thank you so much, Mina. Take care, and best of luck with recovery. Did you ever expect Kiss to be the most associated band with you? I mean, it's not without reason, right? I kind of kicked off my whole video essay VTubing music history career with a 3-part Kiss documentary. So, you know, I totally get why people think of me, I guess, mistakenly as a Kiss VTuber. I just hope that eventually, I'll become known for a bit more than just that. When we go back to listening to Kid and Giz, I'm absolutely obsessed. Well, have fun with that, Chris A. I hope you enjoy your tumbling down the rabbit hole, just as I did years ago myself. What a fantastic stream. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Peter. And once again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me see if I can redirect us to someone's stream. Somebody's got any friends? We got Kendra. We can do Kendra again. Why not? It's fun to raid into Kendra. Okay, so we're raiding into a good friend of mine, Kendra Bratton, and when you get to her chat, when you're sent over to her chat from the redirect, be sure to type in cat raid. I mean, you don't have to do it, but it would be. I would love to see y'all come out in force. In any case, yes. I think I'm gonna step away now, go get some dinner, go watch the ball game, and just generally have a very chill rest of my evening. Thank you so much once again for 4K. I can't wait to give you guys more quality deep dive content to come, more quality streams, and hopefully other fun events in the future. But until next time, I will see y'all next time. Oh my god, wait. Until then, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.